Hello, everybody, and welcome into our live stream today of the NFL Free Agency Frenzy 2026. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ben Smith, joined along with Brady Fontaine here, and we're just coming on the air with some breaking news coming out of the NFL this morning, as it is officially 12 o'clock and it's the legal tampering period. This morning, we had some news come in the NFL world. The first one being Tua Tagovailoa cut from the Miami Dolphins. The first news headline this morning, as the Dolphins. Adam Schefter reported it today. This, as of this morning, it was so far. I'm trying to pull it up on my screen right now. He reported, and I quote in just a moment right now. Is that the Dolphins cut him with a post-June 1st designation. By cutting him, the Dolphins will lead the NFL in 99 million in dead money, split over 2 years. So, Brady, what are your opinions on this whole transaction by Tua Tagovailoa getting released by the Dolphins?
Well, I think it's a good decision. And now you mentioned dead money. Just to go back to that, from my understanding of the contract stuff and how that works, I mean, it all works so quickly. It's so confusing. My understanding of it is really honestly from playing Madden. But as I think we all know, and all of our target demographic audience out there, like 18 to I'll say 45-year-old males. There's a female audience in there too. Shout out to all our female NFL fans. But it's so confusing with how it works. But like the dead money, the cap penalties, I think you get him off the roster. Especially since he's injury riddled and he's hasn't stayed healthy the past couple seasons. If you can free up some cap space and go have extra money to try to bring in one of the top tier quarterbacks in this free agency period, I'm all for it. I think Dolphins fans should be all for it too.
Yeah. So first things first. The Miami Dolphins too. At the same time, they kind of are struggling with their cap space. They just traded this morning. They also just traded the. We just got breaking news by Adam Schefter. Indy lands its top target. Free agent Alec Pierce is returning to the Colts with a 4-year, $160 million deal.
It's not bad money.
Yeah, this is the first transaction, and this is per Ian Rappaport right now.
Gonna go off script a little bit now here for you folks, but talking about that kind of route for talking about that at least for me for what I had planned for later during this legal tampering period live stream as we got to kind of each team and who their likely targets were for the Patriots. As both Ben and I are Patriots fans, born and raised in different states in Massachusetts. Well, actually, I was born in Rhode Island, as I'll rephrase that. Pardon me, folks. Born in the bucket, as us Rhode Islanders say. Um, but yeah, for Patriots, you made your news again, kind of talk points. They just released Stephon Diggs to free up some cap space and wide receiver targets. I think one of the best available targets for him was Pierce to go after in this free agency class. Young wide receiver, can play the deep ball. He's a pretty efficient route runner. But then does that also mean you think that means that Danny Dimes is going to return to the Colts?
Yeah.
Ben?
Um, yeah, he is. He already got tagged by the Colts. So this is per Ian Rappaport, just reported moments ago that Alec Pierce has agreed to terms with a historic 4-year, $114 million deal with the Indianapolis Colts. The deal is negotiated by Mike Swenson and CJ LeBoy and came together overnight with $84 million coming in. So the top free agent wide receiver is off the board first in the NFL free agency legal tampering period, and I know we technically were talking about like this is the target that the Patriots were looking into. They were eyeing him very well because the Patriots also the Patriots were just after losing Diggs. You, what is your next move by the Patriots? Do you go for Mike Evans? Do you go trade for do you trade for what you call AJ Brown, or what do you think the next move is?
Well, from what I've seen from reports, we had it listed down here in our notes in our prep work because yeah, we do our prep work. We have it listed down in our notes. We ain't ones who don't do our prep work. Just a little humor. But they had offered a first and third round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken, to the Eagles for AJ Brown earlier in this week before the legal tampering period, and that offer was declined by the Eagles. However, the reports that I saw afterwards building up from a lot of other beat reporters around the NFL were saying that the Patriots are still one of the most likely teams to land AJ Brown.
Yeah.
And they are going to have to build upon that first and third round offer and try to beef that up a little bit more.
So just coming into, according to Ian Rappaport, just reposted this moments ago. Almighty Sagias is re-signing with the Atlanta Falcons. A reunion for them. He hasn't played with them since 2024. He is back with the Falcons. On it doesn't say what terms, like how long it is, but he is signing with the Falcons. What are your thoughts on this, Brady? It,
Signing with, returning with the Falcons, reunion with the Falcons. I think, fan wise, fans like to see reunions. Depending on, you know, for Patriots, you could potentially have an AJ Brown, Mike Vrabel reunion. Um, high caliber player in AJ Brown. He started his career in Tennessee with the Titans. His head coach, Mike Vrabel, they were both an electric duo. Stat wise, they performed really well. So, I mean, if it's a coaching reunion for him in Atlanta, or if it's a system that he's used to, I mean, that's all the better, I think, for Atlanta to kind of bring in some key pieces to what they need
yeah,
for their offense, their defense, fill those key holes in their roster. I mean, they're not, in my opinion, they're not far off from being a playoff team and competing. I mean, you just need to keep everybody healthy throughout the season and kind of get some big pieces for, your defense and a little bit more threats offensively, and I think you're competing for a playoff spot because they have the pieces there. It's just a matter of revamping, retooling a little bit, not a full scale retool as a lot of people will put it, but just figuring out what pieces of the puzzle need to go everywhere. And I think they're in good shape.
yeah. Honest, here was a report here by Dov Kleiman. Oh, breaking news: Patriots are signing former defensive lineman Draymond Jones.
Okay, I like that. I also have another um breaking news
Hey,
piece to go off of.
3 years, $39 million.
They have the cap space to do that, and that's a position that they needed filled. They needed a high caliber player there. um, as our likely targets that we had for them, where they were going to go after wide receivers, offensive tackles, or some defensive line pieces. So, they were trying to work out earlier before they were trying to work out a potential trade to bring in Max Crosby of the Raiders because he said he had interest in playing for Mike Vrabel and wanted to play for him. That didn't work out. Crosby ended up going to the Ravens. So now you get a guy like Jones. That's big.
Yeah, I know. I wanted him in the trade deadline this year, but unfortunately, I didn't. He went to the Ravens. He got traded to them, and now he's officially a New England Patriot. Um, this is according to Jordan Schultz, who is an NFL insider. Um, this is official right now, and Doug Keed, who works for the Patriots beat and the Boston Herald, just confirmed it. Is that Draymond Jones is officially a New England Patriot? And here's the thing: I wanted him originally, but I'm glad it officially. I'm glad it happened, and it's a good move by the Patriots. It's really good move by the Patriots that finally get the they finally got the defensive tackle that they needed because Tonga's gone, and as you can see there, that's the transaction that just went down. 3 years, $39 million contract. I wouldn't say it's slightly good payment between the Patriots just picking up a good defensive guy. He can play multiple positions, D line and linebacker, which is good. We need a guy that can switch positions at the same time. But the question is, who we're gonna bring? We're gonna bring back Chase on. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Chase on he's getting up there in age, so that's kind of a thing you have with the NFL too, like an issue you have, and kind of like a lot of these guys, they want their money, they want money, it's all about money, and that's why you see a lot of guys leave and go sign somewhere else because they're going to be able to make more money. And then you talk about I believe it's has to do with taxes, and I believe it's the tax incentives for each state, but you'll see guys go, and especially um from what I've seen in the NHL, in other leagues, is guys will go and play down south because there's no tax incentives, so they're
Yeah.
actually keeping more of their salary that they're getting earned and not losing a big chunk of that salary due to taxes. They're keeping more of that money, but then again, that also comes into play, like, market, you want to play for a big market, how historic the team is, and all that kind of stuff has to get factored in as well. So obviously him coming here to the Patriots, you have success in the Patriots. They just made the Super Bowl this year. Uh, they're trying to get back there, win another AFC title again next season, get to the Super Bowl again, and hopefully this time come out on top and hoist banner number 7 into the rafters at Gillette Stadium.
So with that being said, though, the Patri- with the Patriots signing him, they they really have to, like, next move for the Patriots has to be like a wide receiver. Would you think?
I would think so. I would think you go and you try to bring in a wide receiver. A lot of other One other thing that I've been hearing and saying is, you might try to bring in an offensive line guy, an offensive tackle, especially after the Super Bowl loss and that performance from Will Campbell. But if you look at what came out afterwards, Campbell was injured in that game. There were a lot of guys playing through injury. That's something Vrabel admitted before, too, when the questions were coming out about Jones. He said, there's not one guy on our roster who's fully healthy. That was quoted by Mike Vrabel himself. I'm speaking in his exact words that he said to 98.5 in an interview before the Super Bowl and their Super Bowl departure to California. It so he was injured. He had his worst game of the season on the biggest stage, which is unfortunate for a rookie. You never want to see that happen to a guy.
Not at all. Totally agree
But
with you.
you look at him the rest of the season, as he said at the draft, was he fighting and dying to protect that team in Drake May? Yeah, he was pretty dang good.
Yeah. Um. Honestly, too, with that being said, I feel like you're totally correct with the whole injury part. He played through an injury, but you got to understand who else played through an injury was Drake May. They had to shoot up his arm before the game because it was that bad. The pain level was that bad. So, and he got injured during that AFC Championship game. So he wasn't either 100% as well. So the whole team was injured. The Seahawks were a better team that game, honestly. But yeah, um, along with that, like we just said moments ago, Draymond Jones just agreed to terms with the Patriots. Good player, a great player for the Patriots, great pickup, and I gotta update this list too on the bottom, as he's still in a he's not available anymore, and this is official. Adam Schefter just not Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport just confirmed this to us, is that the Patriots are signing with a 3-year, $39.5 million. He gets $14 million in year one. A good. I like it. I like it. $14 million in your first year as a Patriot. I'll take it. Oh, there's my dog.
Yeah, all good. Mine are probably going to go at some point during the live stream as well. I mean, hey, there's only so much we can do about the pets here. You know, you might see me vanish at some point and tell them to shut up, but we'll try not to do that. We'll be nice to the animals on stream too.
Yeah,
They're
we'll
part of the
try.
family here. I'm a big family guy, all about that. But transitioning over, not to cut you off, but the other rumor and suppose this is confirmed by Ian Rappert.
Rappaport.
Supposedly we have more this is more major breaking news, and I am actually shocked. This is a big move here, Ben. You ready to digest this one?
What?
Ian Rappert says Minka Fitzpatrick gets a 3-year, $40 million extension as part of this deal. And what this deal is trade. Dolphins trading safety Minka Fitzpatrick to Jets in exchange for 2026 seventh round pick.
What?
I think they overpaid for this a little bit. That's your best defender for the Dolphins right there. And you're giving the
Well,
Jets a big guy, but
honestly,
then again,
honestly, the Dolphins are on the red when it comes to cap space. Um,
yeah, you clear
and
he was one of their biggest contracts. You just cleared
but
up a lot of money with that move.
yeah, but like at the same time, I don't see Minka staying at least a year in New York.
I don't know.
They
I
yes,
think
they needed a safety. Yes, the Jets needed a safety. They had 0 interceptions on the defensive side last year. They didn't even pick off any quarterback that they've played all season long that year.
yeah, I think
It-
that's the first too. I think this is the first time that this has ever happened in the NFL, if I'm not corrected.
yes, you're right. It's the first time it's ever happened. But like they were not the worst defense in the NFL last year. What you call the Titans were the worst defense ranked in the NFL last year. But
All right,
I,
here's not to
I
cut
disagree
you
with
off here, but question wise, building a stream. Here's my follow up question for you now. For your predictions, we'll go prediction wise because it's a little bit easier to talk predictions now. There's still a lot of a free agency tampering period left. There's still the whole regular season to be played. It's really hard to say, oh, these like, yeah, you get big signings and say like these guys are the winners of free agency, but then these guys might not spark and transition over, and they might go from being, oh, they had a really good 2025 NFL season. They go and are playing somewhere else now. Oh, they're at the bottom of the league for their respective position. But you said you don't see Fitzpatrick staying more than a year with the Jets. You think had the Jets not dealt away Sauce Gardner at the trade deadline, that might have changed things up a little bit?
Well, they're two different positions, though. Gardner is a cornerback. Fitzpatrick is a safety. But at the same time, it was just so diced up in that, like, Sauce Gardner couldn't take it anymore. He was good his first year in the NFL. He was good in 24, but 23 and 25, he was okay. He needed to go. He needed a fresh new start because he needed a fresh new start in this in a different team, honestly, and I don't blame him whatsoever. Um,
I
as of right
don't
now,
I
oh,
don't
sorry.
blame him either. Yeah, I don't blame him either. And then I can't blame the Jets either. You did get a nice haul of draft picks, and they got a pretty decent receiver out of that exchange too from the Colts. So
Just breaking in per Jeremy Fowler and Adam Schefter just retweeted this. Eric Stokes, cornerback, is re-signing with the Raiders on a 3-year, $20 million deal. I'm gonna put it down on my on the tick on the lower third right now. Is that Eric Stokes has agreed to terms with the Raiders, 3 years, $30 million. Pretty solid deal, and with 20 million guaranteed per sources. This is
yeah,
a solid deal.
big
I
chunk of guaranteed money right there. I wish I had that in my pockets as a college student.
wish I had that too. I'll be honest with you.
Hey, dude. If only I
20,
was that good at. If only I was that good at a sport, dude. The amount of money these guys makes is insane. But no, I think that's a good move for the Raiders. I mean, that's the thing. They're too. They have some pieces there, some guys there. They they have a decent ability free agency wise to kind of retool, retweak this roster, bring
oh,
some guys
breaking
in.
news! Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs.
Oh my god. That is big for the Chiefs. They don't
Wow.
have much cap space to work with, as we've said in our discussions leading up to the live stream, but I mean, he boosted his resume this season, winning Super Bowl MVP.
And this is just per Ian Rappaport. Wow. The Super Bowl MVP lands a spot in Kansas City. That's a big move right there. And that might be the biggest move in free agency so far today. And Adam Schefter has confirmed, and so is Ian Rappaport. He was the first to report it. Um, but we can confirm that Kenneth Walker has agreed to terms with the Chiefs. The deal hasn't been hasn't been confirmed by like how long his contract is, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that too, just to have multiple sources popped up, make it easier to kind of break the news over the stream too. I have NFL Network's free agency frenzy playing on my TV in front of me, and they're just breaking the news now, saying that uh, running back Kenneth Walker III agrees to terms with the Kansas City Chiefs.
What a deal breaker there. That will be the
That's
top.
the bit that, in my opinion, right there. Not to cut you off, but that is the biggest signing right now in free agency to this moment in time. I'm not gonna lie. Opinion, that's my opinion based. I will share my opinion. I can kind of do that here.
You can.
In this, but that's huge for the Chiefs. With his ability as a player, he can run the ball up the middle. He's a good power runner. He's got a solid build to him running wise as a runner. That's going to help him out a lot, I think, offensively. Especially looking at their quarterback depth and position, they're likely going to be starting the season without Mahomes.
Yeah. The issue is, I think this is going to be a shorter contract because Mahomes takes up 88% of the cap space. We were talking about this yesterday. He takes up 88% of the cap space, and honestly, it's just like at the same time. At the same time, it's just like this offense now. Quarter Their quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, Kenneth Walker's their running back, Worthy, Rasheed, and then Travis Kelsey. That's their offensive room right there.
Yeah, and Kelsey's in the free agency class this year too. So if it does Kelsey come back or not? Kelsey announced. We forgot to mention it earlier, but that was major breaking news that we had planned to start the stream. That the flow of this free agency kind of interrupted with all this breaking news. But Kelsey has stated that he is going to return for another season in the National Football League, and that is confirmed. That has been confirmed by multiple sources.
Yeah, and I literally was just messaging my friend, and he is not happy right now. My friend's a Seahawks fan, not happy right now.
I don't blame him.
Uh, it's just a difference. I feel like the Seahawks. You get ETN now.
I would say yeah, you go after ETN. Um, on our list that we had for top 5 running backs available, I believe we were debating it yesterday, building it out, picking our top 5, who we wanted on the list. ETN and Walker neck and neck for us because you look at the ability that both these guys have as a playmaker. I mean, and then looking at ETN too, ETN kind of came out of nowhere with his introduction to the league with the Jaguars. And this guy tore up the league, could run up the middle, has the ability to make plays as a runner. So if you put him in somewhere where they have a decent offensive line blocking for the run game, he's going to be able to produce. And you know that this guy can produce. He's worth signing for a decent chunk of money for to keep him around on your squad for a couple years to go.
Yeah,
He's still young, so a 4 to 5 year deal isn't going to hurt you
and
to keep him in your system because he's a key caliber player. His rookie season, I mean, was one of the top. It was him and Christian McCaffrey his rookie season in the NFL. They were the top 2 running backs in the NFL for fantasy. I'm not sure whether ranking wise they actually finished as the top 2 running backs at the end of the regular season, but that's kind of like my analogy I'll put on this is like the Patriots who they just got this year. You just got Henderson, kind of the same thing. Henderson Did Henderson start from week one like ETN did? No. So ETN had a little bit more playing time and was able to adjust to the league week by week, being able to play, where Henderson wasn't given that ability. But if you look at what Henderson can do, does Henderson have the ability to make big plays on the run and stretch out plays, keep plays going? Yeah, you saw him with some of his touchdowns were huge.
And that's just the news that just came in. As of right now, we just got news right now that Ian Rappaport just announced that K. Dotton will resign with the Bucks on a. They don't say how long the deal is, but he is returning to Tampa Bay on a
That
deal right now.
not not horrible.
As you can see on the right hand side, that is Patrick Mahomes' reaction to the transaction, the move right there. Um, and he probably won't be playing for like a little half the season, but it it he will have him for at least a year or two. But like at the same time, we talked about Mahomes' contract being like 22, like he takes up 88% of the cap space. That's why I don't see like they're gonna get a big time like player in the next couple of years. Besides Kenneth Walker, injury prone at the same time, but they had to move on eventually. They had to get somebody that could build like they need to get a running back like ETN. They need to get a running back that's fast. I'm not saying Kenneth Walker isn't fast, but he is just injury prone.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Um, but I think ability wise, um, it's there. I think you put him in a good coaching staff and you put him in a team again that's like Seattle that has a good offensive line, a good run offensive line too, to be able to create space and create mismatches and holes. He's gonna be able to find success and do well.
Yeah,
And yeah, Kansas City kind of has that in place, but in terms of cap space, like Seattle has, to kind of bring back some of their key pieces to their offensive line that are hitting the free agency market as we speak, it's going to be hard to bring all of them back with the cap space that they have compared to Seattle. So, should he have stayed with Seattle? You never know. But nonetheless, it's a big move for Kansas City.
not unless for sure, but honestly, at the same time that you look at it, Kansas City too, they kind of improved their run game. They just don't have any receivers to throw to. But like when you have when you have Kenneth Walker, your run games has improved drastically for sure.
Wow. This is another big one I see from the NFL, just in terms of who would have potentially been available for free agency if they did not resign. But this is a big resigning, especially for the position itself and defensive players that could have been available in this free agency class. As I'm just finding out, reported from at the at NFL handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, tweets Rams cornerback Trent McDuffie agrees to 4-year, $124 million extension, making him the highest paid cornerback at
I think that's
31
I think
million
that
per
was
year.
broken last night though. I think that was broken last night. They announced it. Oh, here's the deal: 3 years worth up to $54 million for Kenneth Walker. 3 years, $54 million for Kenneth Walker.
That a decent deal.
Eh, so that would make him the highest paid one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL, I believe. What is that like? 54,
Yeah, 54 million would be.
18 million. So he would be the second highest paid running back in the NFL.
I
Um,
don't disagree. I think
Christian
it's a bit of
McCaffrey.
bit of an overpay there, not to step on your throat. But I as a deal altogether, I don't think it's terribly horrible.
No.
Because that's the thing along the line. If you can, over the next couple of seasons, if you can keep him around and you can restructure his contract, you're like this deal turns out not to be as bad, not as much of an overpay because you're still being able to keep him in the system and you're able to restructure his contract to free some cap space up for you to be able to use. If not, then I think that's where it becomes an issue.
Mhm. So, with that being said, the Patriots too with Draymond Jones, a great deal along with that. He's played with 4 NFL teams prior signing. We just got news too that Packers and offensive tackle Sean Ryan have reached a deal with 3 years. Oh, they actually changed it. It was so the deal with Kenneth Walker's 3 years, $45 million. It's not 54. I read wrong. It was 3 years, $45 million, so 15 million a year. And breaking news just came in is that Jalen Watson will sign a deal on a 3-year deal with the Los Angeles Rams, another Chiefs player to LA. So they're taking everybody.
Yeah, LA is taking a bunch of Chiefs players away.
Yeah, they are. They are definitely taking all the Chiefs players away. This is per Ian Rappaport, and I'm going to put it in for a second. Jalen Watson has agreed to terms with the Rams. So another Chiefs player has been gone. Uh, three. This is a 3-year deal. Um, 2 cornerbacks now signed with the Rams. I mean, they're building on their defense a little bit. Um, they have Emmanuel Forbes too, but like you just added another one and another and a two and a cornerback too. So um, we're trying to see if there's any like other major news headlines that just came in. Um, James Conner has agreed to a revised contract to keep him in Arizona for another year. This is per Tom Pelissero. I haven't. I don't. Have I followed? But that's the. So I mean, at the same time, so far we're almost 40 minutes into the legal free agency tampering window. The one of the biggest headlines is that the Patriots signing Draymond Jones to a 3-year, $39 million deal. The Chiefs just signing running back Kenneth Walker to a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Chiefs. Those were one of the two majors so far. Um, we just got news by Adam Schefter just a second ago is that the Commanders Pro Bowl left tackle Laramie Tunsil has reached an agreement to a 2-year, $60 million contract extension with the Washington Commanders. So he's re-signed to that 2 years, $60 million for Laramie Tunsil. A great left tackle move. One of the best tackles in the NFL, if you can argue with me about that. And his days with Houston too, he was just a brick wall. No one could ran past him. So honestly, good move. Good move, honestly.
Yeah, 2 years, 60.2 million. A lot of money, but that's which
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Jalen
break
Phillips
it, break it. Step on
has
my
been
throat.
has signed with the Carolina Panthers. Jalen Phillips signs with the Carolina Panthers. This is per Adam Schefter, 4 years, $120 million. Wow, what
That
a
is big. That's the way to get these guys. So 80 million in guarantees.
yeah. Per Adam Schefter, this is just official just now.
Yeah, that's Schefter's a pretty trustworthy source.
Very
90
trustful.
not 98.5% of the time.
I gotta find him again. And Schefter just out. Rappaport just announced it too. 4 years, $120 million. Good deal. Good pickup.
Yeah.
It's a good
That
pick.
I mean, they are a playoff caliber team. You can see them compete for a playoff spot. They're in a. We talked about it yesterday. That division that they're in is so weird, dude. I mean, the NFL this season too. This was one of the weirdest NFL seasons you've seen in a long time.
Very weird.
Going into this NFL season, do I think that anybody could have predicted it in terms of sports analysts and all that? Exactly spot on and predicted it
Oh,
almost
breaking
like
news. Breaking news. We have a trade coming in. The Colts are sending Michael Pittman to the Steelers.
that's big for the Steelers. I'm not going to lie.
This is per. We have a trade. That was Tom Pelissero who just announced it. Um, Colts are sending Michael Pittman to the Steelers. There hasn't been any details to see whether what the offering is in that trade. So far, this is per Tom Pelissero once again. Michael Pittman Jr. to the Steelers. What a solid trade.
Yeah, that's good for the Steelers for receivers who they need. You put him alongside Metcalf. That's
The
receiving
chemistry's
wise, that's not a bad 1-2 combo.
Yeah.
Could it be better? Yeah, but for who's available, who's on teams, like that's a decent combo. Pittman has proven that he can be a consistent wide receiver, so I like that move.
Very solid move there. And this is they also it's a late round pick that they're getting off of um on this trade. But let's go to it for a second right now. We're going back to Twitter. Yeah, yes, you heard it correctly. It is official now, as Adam Schefter can report that. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen. This is the trade. Now, now that is how you do it on a trade. Now that's how you trade. And the all right, we got the trade details. Is that the Steelers get Michael Pittman, and then the Colts will get a late round pick swap out of it. So kind of a steal for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Um,
Good deal on Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh ends. I think they're the winner of this deal right there.
yeah, I totally agree. Um, now what? Now that now that kind of enhances their wide receiver group because they they needed a wide receiver too. So
Yeah.
that really helps him out very well. Uh, no official news that just came in just moments ago, but that was just one of the biggest. That was just the news that just came out per Adam Schefter. Michael Pittman is traded to the Steelers, and before we got on here, we did get an update regarding that. Like, for example, is we got an update, for example, that there might be a trade between Michael Pittman and a couple other teams. There were interests that the Jets were also interested in him, and there were other teams that were also interested in him as well. Uh, the Giants were. I'm sorry, it was the Giants who were really interested in him after the trade, after the signing of Alec Pierce. So now with the free agency window being open, who does which team? What do you think the next pickup might be? Will It's going to be pretty interesting to see they will how this will go. I think we might get it in the next minute, maybe 30 seconds. Who knows? But
Yeah, I think you're gonna have somebody sign, like you said, within the next minute, 30 seconds, you'll have somebody. Whether it's a big, huge signing or not, up in the air. My prediction right now, I don't think so. I think the next big thing that we're gonna see, and the kind of the trend of this free agency period right now, I think the next big thing and the next big wow factor that's going to get the two of us going like, oh my God, what a move. It's going to be through a trade, is what
yeah,
I think.
that's going to probably be the next move in that situation. So they're also just reporting that now is that Jalen Phillips to the Panthers. But here's the thing with Jalen Phillips. I wanted him, but like at the same time, he was kind of getting injury prone. He was injury prone with the Dolphins. Um, just news within Dolphins are signing Malik Willis.
Wow, that's a big move for Miami right there.
Wow, what a move! And this is per Adam Schefter. Malik Willis to the Dolphins. So Dolphins finally get their quarterback. And I told my uncle the top free agent in free agency this year has signed with the Miami Dolphins, and John Eric Sullivan reunites with his former team. He reunites with his GM, where the with the Packers. He played with the Packers last year, of course, but this is just confirmed. The quarterback room in the NFL. 3 years, $67 million for Malik Willis. So the Dolphins finally have their quarterback.
That's a great deal. Do you also look at who they have behind him? I believe the Dolphins' backup this year behind Tua
Ewers.
was Quinn Ewers out of. Texas, from the Longhorns. That's a
Yeah,
good that Ewers, I think, can have success in the NFL. If he's given his chance, I think he can have success. So I like this there. Um, and I didn't say it when I should have in the beginning when we were kind of getting introduced. We had a lot of breaking news happen too, very quickly after going over and stating that Kelsey was going to return and that Tua was released from the Dolphins. I was going to say, I think Willis is who I would go after from Miami after releasing Tua. And that is exactly what they do. So
yeah,
great move from the Dolphins organization right there, Ben.
I do think it's a solid move from the Dolphins. And this week, my uncle's a Dolphins fan, and I was talking to him. I'm like, I was talking to him. Do you think that the Dolphins pick him up? He was like, no, they're in the red right now, so I don't think they're going to pick him up at all. And I literally said to him, I had him as my pick as the Dolphins' next quarterback. Um, but a good move for Miami. 3 years, $67 million. I mean, we haven't seen a lot from him. We've only seen him in like 3 games prior to this, but
As I'm
um,
looking at what NFL Network said, it said 6 touchdowns and I believe 0 interceptions, I think, in 3 starts in like 2023 or something. So you haven't seen him start a lot, but a decent quarterback. He's played backup a lot of his career too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, the Giant. This is news. Giants have just signed Isaiah Likely to a 3-year, $40 million deal.
That's a steal
Isaiah,
for the
really,
Giants. That's big.
that is that is a steal for sure. And this is just coming into the room. Um, 3 years, $40 million. He reunites with John Harbaugh. Good pickup for the Giants. They needed a tight end. That was their must. So yeah, solid deal. Solid deal for sure. And Adam Schefter just confirmed that Isaiah Likely has signed with the Giants.
Yes, he did.
Solid move. What a solid move by them. But I'm gonna put it up on the screen wall just right now. Um, but per Adam Schefter, Giants have reached on an agreement on a 3-year deal with former Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely. That was This was legit posted a minute ago by Adam Schefter. Yeah, solid move. They needed a tight end. And we were talking about this yesterday is that the tight end group was just Isaiah Likely was one of the top tight ends to be in this. It was one of the top tight ends. He was one of the top tight ends, and we totally agreed on how solid he's been. Even when he was with last season or 2 years ago, he was solid with the he was solid with the Ravens. Sorry, he was solid with the Ravens. So the Giants are signing him 3 years, $40 million. That can be worth up to 47.5 in incentives. Sources tell Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, who just confirmed. Uh, this is just the news that just popped up moments ago by Adam Schefter. Uh, I do think it kind of helps enhance the offense because Jackson Dart going into his second year. He's going into his second year in the NFL. He's already got. He's going to have Malik Neighbors coming off an injury. Scadaboo coming back off an injury again. Hopefully, they re-sign Wandale Robinson. They re-sign Wandale Robinson to a cheaper deal. But it with Isaiah Likely being your tight end, man, that's a good group. The Jets are signing former off Bengals pass rusher Joseph Osai, and this is currently per Jordan Schultz. Is that Joseph Osai will sign with the Jets here? So I knew they were gonna like. I knew they were gonna spend. That's their. They're gonna want to spend today. The Jets. Oh, we got more. It's like more blown up on my watch right now while I'm at it. But I'm gonna stop the sharing. Uh, hasn't been open for this free agency window hasn't been open for like a full hour, but so far we've already gotten like numerous transactions just came through by both by like oh, the top one so far is Kenneth Walker being signed. So
Yeah, I think below that, I think Pittman might be the next biggest one so far right now. No, I'm gonna rephrase that. Pittman's big behind, but I think the Patriots signing of Draymond Jones might be a little bit bigger than Pittman.
yeah, I
If
would agree.
not, if not Pittman being in third for biggest signings right now, it might be the Dolphins signing of.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. The Steelers are signing Michael Pittman to a 3-year, $59 million contract now.
Yeah, that did just get reported by Adam Schefter a couple seconds, about 3-ish minutes ago. But it just popped up on my feed a minute ago.
Yeah, this is one of the. Well, I can't. I gotta zoom in on that comment. There was a comment, and I do apologize on the bottom there. I'm gonna stop sharing. Um, I do apologize. I didn't want to put that on air. That is something that we don't want to see, and I do apologize for anybody that just saw that just a second ago. Um, we're nearly an hour in to the stream, and we've already gotten massive deals. The top free agent is off the board now. Two of the top three free agents are off the board. There's a lot of moves coming up soon, and I'm hoping there's a big marquee one coming up in the next couple of minutes. We're going to take a quick break, folks, and we'll be right back in about maybe 3 minutes. Right, welcome back, everybody. We're back on the air for the second, half of this, or we're quarter of the way, third of the way down so far in free agency. But one of the biggest moves, but sorry about that. Do apologize. Um, a minute ago, Jets. We just got news that the Jets are signing former defensive end Kingsley, um, Kingsley and Nagbury just announced just a second ago. Jets are signing former defensive end Kingsley and Nagbury uh, for a 1 year, $10 million deal with the Jets. Okay, everybody, we're back here in action. While we were gone, we just got breaking news per Adam Schefter, and just moments ago, is that Demario Davis actually it was now it's reported by Adam Schefter. Demario Davis has signed with the Jets with a deal.
Yeah, I believe as NFL Network is covering it, as I mentioned, I have that on live in front of me. I believe it's a 2 year, $22 million deal. As you just put it up as I was saying it,
Yeah.
and then 15 million, fully guaranteed as he returns to the Jets.
Yep.
Not a bad move for New York.
Not a bad move. Not at all.
No, that's what you were predicting earlier. New York has the ability to go out and spend some money, bring in some good pieces, and then they have good draft picks too. They can trade the draft pick, use the draft picks. From what I was reading last night before I hit the sack and went to bed, as we say here in New England, they were just free agency looking back at last year's free agency and what teams had spending limits and went out and spent. Look at what the Patriots, their prime example is the Patriots. The Patriots proved how vital a tool free agency can be.
Um, we just got breaking news just coming in. So Austin Hooper has just signed a 1-year deal, 3.25 million with the Falcons. This is per Ian Rappaport just moments ago. Is that the Falcons just signed Austin Hooper to a 1-year, $3.25 million deal as he returns back with the Falcons, a team that he started with his career back in 2016. Got traded back in 20. He left in 2020, but he's officially back with the Falcons. A reunion for them. Good player, good player,
Yeah,
player,
not
and
a is he one of was he is he one of the top tight ends on the board right now that we had for tight ends going into free agency? No. Is he a
no,
solid tight end that has good route running, can catch and
good route
make
running ability.
make
Yeah,
make decent plays? Yeah. And he's a big boy with height. He's got muscle to him too. That's key for a tight end.
yeah. Per Mike Garafolo, and this is retweeted by Tom Pelissero. The Titans have agreed to terms on a 2-year deal with Mitch Trubisky in a deal done by his agents. And been this has just been confirmed by Mike Garafolo just moments ago, confirmed by Tom Pelissero, one of the NFL insiders. 2-year deal with the Tennessee Titans. This is just confirmed. Uh, so he will be the backup for Cam Ward, and that might be the end of Will Levis, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
no doubt.
Levis
It's gonna be a
hasn't had a lot of
it's gonna be a third stringer.
Levis is a third string. It's not bad because Levis is still young. But
Yeah.
you're right. That very well may be the end of Levis.
All right, let me share my screen again. This is per Mike Garafolo just a second ago. Kenneth Gainwell, now break by the Schultz report. Kenneth Gainwell has just signed a 2-year deal with the Bucks, $14 million. The Buccaneers have just signed Kenneth Gainwell. 2 years, $14 million off a deal.
Not a yeah, not bad there. 2 years for a 2 year deal. That's decent value.
Yeah.
Not I'd say that's not an overpay, not an underpay. Right in the middle of an where an average deal is. And the Buccaneers are there. They're a playoff caliber team. You just got to keep your pieces healthy. And that's unfortunately what they weren't able to do this year.
Hmm.
A lot of their key pieces weren't able to stay healthy, and that's what happens in this league, unfortunately, sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people can't stay healthy in this league, and it's just like it's gotten to the point where like that's why this wide receiver class is like really good, but they're just old and they can't stay healthy. We were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
Wide receiver class can't stay healthy out all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you have Mike Evans still on the board, Tyreek still on the board, but those guys older, can they stay healthy? That's a big question for teams, especially with the money that these guys might want for their contract deals. It's like, are you going to be able to keep these guys healthy?
Yeah, and I wonder how this is like we were talking about yesterday. This is the first year that Mike Evans did not get a 1,000 yard season in his career. Yes, he's a Hall of Fame guy. He's a Hall of Fame wide receiver, but this is the first time in his career he's never reached a 1,000 yard season ever. So who? The problem is Mike Evans might have another 3 years left, 2 3 years left in him.
I think if
Um,
he gets picked up, not to cut you off and step on your throat, I think it's going to be likely a 1 year deal
yeah,
somewhere. Kind of a prove yourself deal, and then maybe they re sign him, or he, for the rest of his career, just bounces around the free agent market.
um, I'm trying to see. Yeah, so Ian Rappaport just confirmed about Kenneth Gainwell. 2 years, 14 million. We're gonna put it on our lower third in just a moment. All right, here we go. So, agreed to terms with the Bucks. It is a 2 years, 14 million for Kenneth Gainwell. Uh, I think we just also got other news is that Ravens free agent punter Jordan Stout reached an agreement today with this is per Adam Schefter with the Giants on a hold on a 2 year 3 year 12.3 million, and we just got breaking news. Alex Anzalone is signing a 2 year $17 million deal with the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are enhancing their defense.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Again, that's kind of right in the middle for a 2 year deal, and that is a good defensive piece to bring in for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, great piece if you're the Bucks. But 2 years, $14 million for Kenneth Gainwell. But moments ago, we just got word that Alex Anzalone, the the Lions linebacker, has just signed a deal with the Buccaneers. This is per Adam Schefter, first to report it. 2 years, 17 million for him. Good deal. What a salt. He's a very good linebacker. Good Mike on the team. But Jordan Stout was a record. So just in a range of like 2 minutes, Pats have just agreed to terms with fullback Reggie Gilliam on a 3 year. What are we doing?
That's a name I have not heard in a little bit, dude.
A fullback. Well, to replace
Yeah,
Tom
they
McDowell.
kind of did need a piece for there,
He gets $4 million in his first year.
but I mean
Reggie,
that's a piece you could have picked up in the draft too. I don't know. That's tough
I don't know. What are we doing?
because some of them last. Some of them from the draft will last and have success in the NFL, and then some of them don't. That's a tough position to draft too.
All right, another move is that former Vikings punter Ryan Wright has signed a deal with a 4-year, $14 million deal that includes $8 million with the Saints. Another punter move just been made um just moments ago. Oh, Malik Willis is with. So I'm actually having two screens. I have the NFL Network on one side, and then the other side I have the what you call. I have Pat McAfee show on. So I have two of them going on at once. I don't know how you feel if you're a Patriots fan with that move. You're, I mean, you got a fullback finally. We haven't had a fullback in like 8 years. Actually, 7 years. We haven't had a fullback for. So it's been that long since we haven't had a fullback. Our last fullback was James Devlin, and then we had Westover play a little bit of that role, but we
Mm-hmm.
tendered him today. I don't understand. Would you want him as a tight end too, or would you want to draft a tight end in the draft? I think we draft a tight end.
Yeah, I think you do draft a tight end, so it gives you that ability to be able to go draft a tight end now.
Yeah, the Patriots with that have land the top fullbacks in the NFL right now with that move.
That's the thing too. A lot of these fullbacks and some of the fullbacks in the NFL can play.
They say it's a good. They say it's a good pickup though because it's something that they've missed, and they got their fullback got hurt during camp last year, so it's all a pickup for the Patriots. I don't mind it. Um, I want to do a call thing, but like I want people to call in the show, but it's just like not like I have my actual number, so I don't want people to see my actual. Michael Pittman posted on Twitter. He was he said black and gold, and a lot of people are like, "Oh no, it's black and yellow, black and yellow." Oh
Yeah, that is the Wiz Khalifa song lyrics.
yeah, why
Great,
are
great
people?
song.
What a great song that is, definitely for sure. Uh, some I'll see if there's more to this, honestly, but like there hasn't been any reports so far.
I haven't seen. Yeah, I have not seen many any other reports for.
Amik Robertson just announced by Tom Pelissero. Um, Amik Robertson, 2 years, 16 million with the Commanders, and this is per Tom Pelissero. Just announced it moments ago.
Not a bad move for the Commanders.
All right, let's share my screen. Uh, Meek Robertson, yeah, 9.3 million guaranteed as well. So two Lions defensive players are gone, and the Bear from Tom Pelissero just reported just now is that the Bears are signing safety Seattle Seahawks safety Kobe Bryant per sources just announced just a second ago. Let's see if it I think it popped up on my feed right just seconds. Yeah. So Tom Pelissero just reported that Kobe Bryant has signed the Bears are signing him to a deal. It hasn't been confirmed how long the deal is, but that just came into the newsroom. Is that Bears have just signed Kobe Bryant?
Not a bad move
Yeah,
for the
not a
Bears.
bad, solid move by the Bears. And you could look at in the next couple minutes is that a wide receiver might be coming off the board eventually in the next couple minutes. We haven't had a receiver signing since Alec Pierce, which was the first one today. Um, one of the hot receivers, are Mike Evans and Tyreek Hill. Mike Evans will test out free agency and see if there are any teams that will offer him any money. And if that's the case, sign a deal with he might sign a deal with one of the teams that needs a receiver for sure.
Yeah, that is true. I think. Yeah, I mean, you could see. Uh, you might see a tight end go too soon.
Um, I mean, finally the Pats get a fullback, but like a lot, he's the best fullback in free agency, and the Bills fans are kind of upset with that. Bills fans are super upset because he played for the Bills. Um, the another report has 3 years, $40 million for Kobe Bryant. Wow, that's good payday. Very good payday.
Yeah,
Very
for
good.
sure.
Um, Jeff Howe is reporting about the Reggie Gilliam decision right now. But moments ago, we just got the report that Titans are signing former Giants tight end Daniel Bellinger. No report. Schultz report just reported along with Dove Kleiman, who typically gets the reports before it actually is official. The Pats with that have around like 40 million left in cap for the rest of the way. Like 45 million at most in cap for the rest of the way after those two signings.
So do you bring on a wide receiver from this free agency class and maybe go after
Yeah,
someone like Rashid Shaheed or something like that? Or do you go the tight end route after losing Hooper now and try to bring in maybe Dallas Goddard, who's still on the board for tight ends, or
yeah. I mean, you could go for any. I think I want to see a wide receiver come off the board. We haven't seen it yet, but there's so many teams that's going to pursue for a wide receiver. Um,
you've only seen two wide receivers come off the board. You've seen, well,
one specifically.
one, Pierce came off the board, Pittman was a trade,
Yeah,
and that's all you've seen for wide receiver transactions today.
yeah. So far, that's pretty much it so far that I've seen specifically. In the first hour alone, we've seen transactions, and I saw while we were on break, I saw this posted. I'm trying to find it because I think I might have lost it for a second. We did see a lot come off in that first hour alone in free agency. This was posted by Dove Kleiman. Like I just said, he comes off. He breaks the news before anybody. First hour free agency. Alec Pierce resigns. Um, all right, we just got news is that former Dolphins punter Jake Bailey is signing a 3-year, $9 million that is fully guaranteed. With what? What is the deal? What is the deal, Shifter?
Yeah, it doesn't say who he's signing with. It just says the
With
contract
who?
deal wise. I'm not sure who he's going to, but does that mean he's returning to Miami, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
We'll see if anything else comes out.
And then Traymon Jones with a 3-year, $39 million deal. Eric Stokes with LA, with Vegas. Tua Tagovailoa officially released with Atlanta in pursuit. Schefter, hold on one sec, because they with the Falcons. It was the deal. Jake Bailey to the Falcons.
Not a bad move for the Falcons for
Three
punter. Bailey
years,
is a
$9 million. So I could see Tua be the next one up for for the Falcons.
not a bad move. That's a pretty solid. That's a solid punter, former Patriots punter right there.
Yeah. Uh, Bear. Yeah, 3 years, 9 million with the Falcons, and we just got news that the Lions are expected to sign center Cade Mays to a 3-year, $25 million contract. Per 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 Tom Pelissero, just moments ago, the Lions are signing Cade Mays We'll share the screen in just a second. Cade Mays to the Lions.
That's a good move.
Another center move being made.
I like that pickup for the Lions. Kind of boosting that's helps boost their offensive line a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't have a bad O line, but that's a piece
That's,
that helps fill a hole in their offensive line that they needed. And then Mays, I believe, is also a guy who can fill another position on the O line as well, too. So
yeah, that's for sure. Another guy that you could fill on the line as well.
that was one of the top available centers on the free agency board, too, off the board right there.
Yeah. According to Mark Daniels, who is a Patriot reporter for Mass Live, they were interested in Isaiah Likely. They could still turn on like Chig Nkonkwo or David Njoku. At receiver, there's Wandale Robinson, Romeo Dobbs, and Mike Evans.
I don't mind any of those.
I'm kind of out on Dobbs a little bit. I'll be honest with you.
Dobbs a little bit. Evans, uh, not bad, just age wise. And depending on how much money you sign him for,
Yeah.
no. I do like Njoku. Goddard, I wouldn't mind either.
No, Goddard. Well, he wants to go to a team that needs a tight end one right now.
Patriots don't really need that, but I mean, you could also kind of utilize Goddard in other way, other ways, offensive wise, potentially try to use two tight ends. But I don't think Goddard's gonna want that, like you're saying.
Yeah. Over $1 billion has been spent so far in free agency.
Nice,
1 billion.
a lot of money.
And this is per. This is during the what you call. The Falcons are signing Nick Folk.
No, it's not a bad move, folk. For a
Age
kicker,
41, entering his 20th season in the NFL. He just signed a 2-year deal with the Falcons. That's a solid deal, honestly. You need to get if they lost Youngwei Koo. So 41 years old, 20th season in the NFL. Just reported with the 2-year deal. It doesn't show how much it is. Just says it's a 2-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. As we have approached halfway in our live stream today here on Ben Smith Broadcasting, excuse me. the Cowboys have just placed a tender on Brandon Arbery for the second round, 5.76 million on Brandon Arbery. So with over $1 billion have been spent so far. Of course, my Wi-Fi goes out. Shoot. Now my phone Wi-Fi goes out. It's 1:37 Eastern Standard Time. We've been we've been on the air. We've been live for hour 37 ourselves. But honestly, it's been a really interesting free agency so far. Would you say?
I wouldn't disagree with that. It's been interesting. Um, there's still some good free agents left on the board, but it's a weirder free agency class too. Like we're saying, a lot of the guys that are available free agent wise, a lot of guys are, and a lot of the top guys in certain positions are older in age, and then there are some that are younger, but a lot of your most noticeable standouts for each respective position are up there in age. So
Yeah. Sorry, I moved my phone for because the reception was kind of getting crappy over here.
yeah, you're good. I will put that out there too, just for the viewers. Apologies to the viewers. I'm off my game, and then apologies. You hear some sniffling from me. I woke up under the weather this morning after stemming from last night. So hopefully everything is all set there. It's
You're all
nothing too
set.
severe.
You're
I
fine.
think it.
Don't.
I think
I
it's
I
just a.
I had the sniffles too. I'll be honest.
I think it's just a cold on my end, but a good friend Ben Smith here, who I'm on the stream with as a co-host. I did not. I wasn't gonna blow him off for the live stream. I wasn't gonna blow you guys off either. Um,
Appreciate it. I do appreciate it for sure.
yeah, I appreciate it too much. I gotta grow my brand a little more as a broadcaster, and Smitty, as I'll nickname him and kind of have that nickname for him, give me the opportunity to do that here today. So we're having some fun. My nose, nose, not so much, but hey, we'll get through it.
Daniel Belanger, like we just said like a couple minutes ago, he just signed a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Titans. So another tight end off the a tight end off the board for the another tight end off the board for the Titans.
I believe we already broke the news on him, but I'm seeing more from NFL Network on contracts wise coming out for the Commanders cornerback that they just signed. The Robertson deal. It would be 2 years, $16 million. He will have 9.3 million in guaranteed money.
Yep. And folks, reminder tonight: if you are staying on the stream for a little bit, tonight we're gonna have our first WBC, first baseball live stream of the year. Uh, it will be tonight at 8 o'clock. We're going to start 10 minutes early at like 7:50. Pregame at 7:55, and then first pitch expected for 8 p.m. The game's in Houston, so the time constraints might actually it will affect us a little bit, but we shall see. I haven't heard anything just quite yet in the room. Um, Nothing really big in transaction wise, but I'm hoping in the next maybe 10-15 minutes we might have another report about some transactions coming.
I think it's going to be a little bit longer now, as you're saying, before we see another signing,
Yeah,
as we're getting later into the uh, tampering period here today.
yep.
As it's 1:43 p.m. is the time here. We've been live for
An hour 43.
about an hour 43.
We started right at 12 o'clock, so we were the first. We kind of started first and first hand. But so far, nothing really big in news. But within the past hour, we've witnessed within this hour in general, we have witnessed some news being broken. First being the the news of within this hour, we've had Kobe Bryant signing a 3-year, $40 million deal to the Bears. Commanders and hold on, just breaking news. Ravens free agent center Tyler Linderbaum has reached a deal on a record deal with the Raiders, who are awarding him a 3-year, $81 million deal that includes $60 million in guaranteed and makes him the highest paid interior offensive lineman. This is just news per Ian Rapp report, not Ian Rapp, Adam Schefter. Correction.
Yes.
Um, is that we have news Tyler Linderbaum on a record deal, 3 years, $81 million.
That's a lot of money, but that is a good interior offensive line piece for the Raiders to acquire.
Yeah.
He is solid at his position, so
So that was per Adam Schefter. 3 years, $81 million plus $60 million in guaranteed. Makes him the highest paid interior offensive lineman in the league. Um. Oh, news. The Arizona Cardinals have agreed to terms with Tyler Algier, 2 years, $12.25 million. Per Ian Rappaport just moments ago, the Cardinals are signing him to a 2 year, $12.25 million.
Not a bad deal right there.
Not a bad deal indeed.
Decent running back too.
Yeah, solid
Kind
running
of
back.
yeah, middle of the pack, consistent guy in the past couple seasons in the overall running back rankings. So that's a piece the Cardinals needed to beef up a little bit too, and I think he helps their uh, running back depth chart out a lot.
Yeah, not the Bucks. It was
The Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Hey, all good.
Thank you.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah. So Algier to the Cardinals, 2 years, 2.25, 12.25 million, and the Raiders are officially closing in on a deal with Tyler Linderbaum. Just happened moments ago. One of the top centers in free agency has found a new home in Las Vegas. Vegas looks to build. They're looking because they need a guy. They need a center that can help out Fernando Mendoza when when he goes to the Raiders. They need a guy that needs to help him out. Mendoza's gonna go into the Raiders organization, and after the mess that they had last year, they're looking to build the pieces of the puzzle together. So, with that, phenomenal deal, record deal, and that's exactly the deal that the Raiders needed. And the thing is, they needed to spend, and that was the thing that they needed to spend on was a player like him to
Yeah,
enhance
I
that.
think that's the most likely landing spot out of the draft for Mendoza. I think passing up on him if you're the Raiders is a little bit silly to say the least, but it has happened before. You've seen players that are projected to go very early and projected to go to a certain team not go there, but the Raiders need a quarterback in Mendoza. As of right now, the latest draft reports coming out that we've seen for this upcoming NFL draft that is coming up uh, very shortly is he's the best quarterback in the draft class. Just won a national championship with Indiana.
Yeah, like you just said, he just won the national championship with Atlanta, Indiana, correction.
Yeah, well, Atlanta has been signing a bunch of guys, so Atlanta's on the brain, man.
Yeah, just just won the national championship after being a transfer from California the year prior. This makes him the highest paid center in the NFL. He with Creed Humphrey with 18 million, and then Tyler Linderbaum with 27 million, highest paid centers in the NFL. So a $9 million ratio between Linderbaum and Humphrey. Those are so far the reports as of right now that just came in. But back to the story about Mendoza. Mendoza too transferred from he was a transfer from Cal who played he played for a couple of years in Cal. He started at a small school and worked his way up to the D1 level in Cal, and then transferred from Cal to Indiana, where he won the national championship with them. And not only that, he he seems like the quarterback that is like this is the first like quarterback that we've seen in years that is NFL ready. He's already been in the NFL for that long, and he is quite NFL ready.
He seems like he's ready to take that leap for sure. But you also look at what this guy did during his college career too. A lot of transferring and a lot of having to prove himself, which that's key experience for when you go to the NFL and transfer over. Like He's had to prove himself, hard work. He's gotten there. He's taken a lot of big risks transferring from school to school because you never know what's going to happen when you transfer, and it's paid off for him. So I'm happy for him that it paid off and that he's ready to go. And I'm happy that we have a candidate in the draft class that really looks like they're going to fulfill their promise from all the draft reports and draft stock out there on him, because that's something that the past couple of years from candidates has not been seen, and it's a little saddening for sports fans all across the world.
Yeah, I can't say I don't agree with you on that one, for sure. Um, so far, we're almost an hour. We're 2 hours down. Got one more hour left in our 3 hour live stream here. Um, we're gonna step away in about 5 minutes, but yeah, but we want to thank everybody who's been tuning in to this live stream today. We're hoping to do more after this.
Yeah,
Um,
I think next year potentially what we have on talk potential doing live streams for the New England Patriots next year for their games. See if we can get the play call for another AFC Championship game in our initial season broadcasting the games together. That would be a nice treat. And then, hey, even a Super Bowl stream, whether it's a win or a loss, would still be a heck of a treat.
yeah, I would agree with you on that. Um, no reports as of right now regarding the free agency. Regarding free agency right now, no new reports. However, but with that, we did get confirmed about the Tyler Algier thing by Adam Schefter. This has been this has been confirmed by him. But Ian Rappaport was the first to report it. It was a 2 year, 12.25 million deal for Tyler Algier. Brady stepped aside just for a moment. We're gonna step aside in a few minutes. We're gonna step aside for a little bit of a break.
Yeah,
Um,
my apologies, guys. I tell the viewers out there, I gotta step away for a second. I gotta get my dogs are not behaving right now. The two of them, and they are shredding apart something. I gotta step away and get it from 'em, make sure they don't get hurt.
all right, sounds good, Brady. But tonight, make sure if you guys are tuning in tonight, we have our Mexico versus USA in the WBC. We'll be live streaming that tonight. The stream should start at around 8 p.m. and it will be right here on our YouTube channel, Ben Smith Broadcasting. It's not Ben Smith Sports Center anymore. It was a temporary thing. Now it's Ben Smith Broadcasting. If we get any more new news regarding free agency, we will report it to you as soon as we can. But for now, it is 1:55. We're gonna step away in just a moment. Momentarily, we're gonna step away for a quick little break, and we'll be right back. And just a few, we'll be right back just to get you on for our third hour of our free agency frenzy. But as of right now, no new news has been broken, but we will get to your news. Of course, we will be the one that reports the news as soon as we can. I'm gonna we're right now we're gonna step away and we're gonna be right back in just a few minutes. We'll be back at 2:01. Should be back for the second part of our free agency frenzy. Second hour. Okay, everybody, we're back here on our show. We just got breaking news just moments ago is that the Saints have just signed running back Travis Etienne, and this is Saints finally had have their running back. Him and Kamara, man, that's gonna be
Dude,
tough.
that is a little 1-2 punch combo, dude.
Yeah. Uh, this is just
Little
came in
bibbity
moments
bop
ago.
Mike Tyson action.
This just came in moments ago per Adam Schefter. Um, hold on one sec as I share my screen. Per Adam Schefter, former Jaguars running back Travis Etienne will be signing with the New Orleans Saints. He's from Louisiana. It is important for him to be near home. What a solid pickup there.
Yeah.
Yeah, good pickup there by. And just moments ago, Wandale Robinson has just reached an agreement with the Tennessee Titans, and he will be reunited with Titans offensive coordinator Brian Dable, who is his head coach in New York. Also, a good pickup there for the Titans. Wide receiver
Yeah,
one.
Robin, he's still young. He's not bad either for as a wide receiver one. Do I think he should be a wide receiver one? No, you could have a better wide receiver one, but then again, from who's available and Tennessee's in a retooling
Oh,
period.
come on, Tonga Chiefs.
No, oh, that one hurts. That hits heart a little bit. As a Pats fan, I'm not gonna lie.
Uh, 3 years, $21 million.
That hurts. That's a good that though. Then again, respectably, as a sports broadcasting reporter, letting the fan side aside, that is a great pickup for Kansas City. Nonetheless,
Yeah,
Tonga came in as a guy no around the league, people knew about him, but league wise, fan wise, he didn't have as big of a name as he does now coming into this season with New England and was kind of one of those random pickups that, you know, turned out to have a lot of success and then found his success in New England and now has a reputation for himself. He's proven what he can do in this league and his ability to stop the run and a player to have as a defensive guy on the run, he can stop the run, and then you look at what head coach Mike Vrabel did this year with him in New England. You can utilize him at the fullback position too, because he is a big boy to try to take down.
yeah,
I think he's
um,
what, like 300 something pounds,
yeah, something like that.
and
Somewhere.
a lot of that's not fat either. A lot of that's muscle
No,
weight.
it's all muscle. He's a big guy. Um,
I don't want that
one
coming. I don't want that coming after me, to say the least.
just just official confirmation. The deal is 4 years, $78 million for Wandale Robinson with the Titans. Tonga, 3 years, 21 million, and then Jahan Dotson just signed with the Falcons, 2 years, $15 million, worth up to 17 million, including 10 million fully guaranteed. This is per source just moments ago. This is per Adam Schefter. Just said this moments ago.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Tonga re-sign in New England as a Patriots fan, and especially kind of for the defense, like really good defensive piece. But I for all the Kansas City Chiefs fans out there, I'm happy with the piece that you guys got, and I'm happy to kind of give you a good defensive piece and um as a fan, sports broadcaster wise, showing a little bit of personality on the air because people love that. People love personality broadcast types. Please treat this guy right. This guy will treat you right. Um, Treat him the way he deserves to be treated. And I'm happy to follow him on Kansas City. I hope he helps you guys out.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Just
Excuse me.
just a full inside of the signing of Travis Etienne. It is 4 years, $52 million for Travis Etienne with the Saints.
That's a good deal. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually a pretty decent deal, money wise.
Yeah, really decent deal overall. Oh,
Yeah, it's a
hold on.
good player
Sa-
for them too. You can utilize him as a running back one or in running back two, and then to be able to the Kamara ETN duo now there is gonna that's really good for them. Now I think um kind of going over our boards now for likely targets. I think we're later in this legal tampering period now. Only an hour left, less than an hour left on stream for us, Ben. But looking at the Saints now, you have that 1-2 punch now with ETN and uh, Alvin Kamara.
mhm.
I think now for Saints, either in the draft or maybe in this free agency period, in the next couple days after today, depending on who's still on the board, who's still available, and with the draft coming up, I think they're likely targets for what they really need is I think you try to go get a wide receiver and maybe a tight end too.
Yeah. Um. As of right now, the Patriots only have signed Draymond Jones and fullback Reggie Gilliam. But he's also a special teamer too, which I like it as well. But
They did need some special team guys there too. Their special teams core is kind of aging on them,
yeah,
getting
uh,
older, but they still have
I
guys
mean,
under
what's his
tenure
name?
there.
Schooler. Schooler's not older, but
Schooler's in his 20s,
still in
I
his
believe.
twenties, late 20s.
I think like 27, 26
Yeah,
age wise. One of those two. And then you have special team. I believe he's a special teamer. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But believe Spillane was on their special teams unit as well this year,
yeah, I believe
as
you're right.
well as defensive. I mean, is he getting up there in age? Yes, but he's still performing. So he's still under contract too. He's not an available free agent, but just talking about like the age core there, keep him around, but then he's also one of the more higher paid players on this Patriots roster too. So I know his free agency period is coming up soon, so within the next couple of years, it'll be curious to see whether they keep him around. But I do like their pickups so far here.
Yeah, Draymond Jones is one player that the Pats wanted in the trade last year with the Titans, but unfortunately couldn't get that done. And now the Pats officially get him in free agency after he signed a 1 year deal last year with the Titans. And he got traded midseason to the Ravens. And I remember being upset about it because we needed a guy like him on the defensive line because I know Williams was hurt at the same time. Um, but yeah. Oh, just news for the Saints. They are signing former Bills guard David Andrews.
That's not a bad move right there.
Not Bills,
That's
the Rams guard David Edwards.
I was gonna say Andrews. Andrews is a
Retired.
retired center for the Patriots, is he not?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so that
Um,
was great guy though at center for the Patriots. We
yeah,
love David. I don't think he'll probably end up watching this, but shout out David Andrews. We loved you as Pats fans.
yeah. David Edwards just confirmed per Adam Schefter, not Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, um, moments ago.
Yeah, kind of transitioning back into what I was gonna say before we got the correction out there with a little communication on trying to break the news to you guys as quickly as it is happening here on the live stream from what Ben was saying and what I was segmenting into after him breaking the news. That's still a very big pickup, even though it is a guy that isn't retired from the league, and it's David Edwards, not David Andrews.
I I had him as my top guard in the draft.
I
Not
I had him going into free agency in the top five, if not number one. He was number two for me. Just kind of who was available to bolster up your offensive line out of all the positions available. But in terms of guards, he was, if not number one, number two on my list.
yeah,
Um, Kind of tied for that number one position because of who was available, and then kind of just that age factor that bringing up again because health wise, like it is a little bit of a risk. Try like taking these guys on for so much money, how long they're going to stay healthy in that too. But then again, you're looking at their overall like period stuff in that too, and I think that's like you're looking at it. One of the best candidates that still remains on the board right now for wide receivers is Tyreek Hill, but his injury status in over the past couple of years, and then his injury status this year and how severe that injury was for Tyreek at his age, you take on a huge risk if you bring in a guy like this. And like I said, Evans too. I think I like my prediction. I said for Evans, I think you'll see him sign a 1 year deal somewhere. I think it's probably going to be the same for Tyreek.
and Adam Schefter just confirmed a 4-year, $61 million deal for David Edwards.
Yes.
What a payday that
Uh,
is!
yeah, nice payday there. I don't see any in terms of the breakdowns we've seen earlier. Don't see any like guaranteed money there, but I'm sure that story wise will kind of all build up in like the next couple days. That's sometimes that's broken immediately, sometimes it's not. Like, but I mean, stuff is happening so quickly. All these agents and general managers, coaches, whatnot, team personnel, you're playing phone tag left and right with all these guys on the board in a matter of just a couple hours, couple days, and I'll let you announce it here.
All right, yep, we just got news that we finally have a receiver being signed so far.
All
The
right, who I'm curious.
It is Jalen Naylor, a 3-year, $35 million contract with the Raiders. Yeah, solid pickup for the Raiders too, but not a one. He's like a three.
Yeah.
3 years, 35
Um
million, and he's solid as well.
yeah, solid wide receiver three. I mean, their wide receiver class there too. They have pieces there. They have a decent wide receiver class there. I mean, they have a big name guy from New England who was around during our stint of New England football that we weren't too proud about in New England, but we pride ourselves in having success, and we know we can have success. But we've after taking shout out to he just left our school this year, but I do want to give a shout out to him because I did love him and I dearly will miss him. Dave Drucker. Shout out to him. I took one class with him, understanding fan behavior, and he's a Giants fan for football. Lives in the New England area though, but his wife is a New England sports fan. One of the first things he said as being a psychologist, and then going into teaching as well, and teaching that course was we have been utterly spoiled as New England sports fans with the amount of championships that we brought in and how well our teams have been. So we can't be too mad at that period of bad football compared to um, other sports because we're spoiled. But I mean, then again, as a
But
fan, you can't. We know that we're capable of doing it, so you can't blame that fan part for coming out.
yeah, I
But it
totally
the receiver name I was going to bring up. It just clicked in my head. Jacoby Myers. You have him there, a decent receiver there for the Saints. You just brought in. Um, I can't see his name too clearly there.
Jalen Naylor.
You just brought in Naylor, which is a good piece, good wide receiver three for them there. I think Raiders now you really um you're gonna have to fill some defensive pieces, and I think if you bolster up your O line, and then they need to find their quarterback too, because they did just before this free agency period they released Geno Smith, who was their starter last year.
All right, we just got breaking news just minutes ago is that the Jets have agreed to terms on a 1 year deal with David Onyemata. 1 year, $10.5 million. He is a native of Nigeria who was introduced to football while in Canada. Signs a lucrative deal by the Carter Chow at red underscore NV Sports. So he's off the board there for the
Oh, he's coming from the Falcons, right? If I'm not
correct.
mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, that's not a bad pickup for the Jets. I try to follow the teams around the league as much as I can, um, with what's in the day, and then follow the Patriots the most, hometown team that I am a fan of. But you look at the defensive tackles and how good their defensive tackle room was on this Falcons defense this year. A lot of that depth chart were really good defensive tackle players. So just in terms of that from defense, that's a good pickup from the Jets. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Um,
And like we said earlier, the Jets are going to spend. I feel like they're going to spend and spend because they have the the most in the division. They have the most in the division with their cap space. The Patriots being number two with that. But so far, a lot some deals haven't been. A lot of some deals have been focused on more of the Falcons, more of the Saints, more of the NFC South. You would say so far in free agency.
yeah, for sure. You've seen a lot of guys go to the Falcon. You've seen a lot of guys go to the Falcons. A lot of guys go to You've seen a lot of Saints have signed a lot. Falcons have signed a lot. They've spent a lot. Raiders for AFC, Raiders have spent a little bit too.
Yeah.
They just had a major signing. The highest paid interior lineman now belongs to the Raiders. So that's huge for them. Chiefs didn't have a ton of spending room, but just recapping a little bit for those who may just be tuning into the live stream now. Kenneth Walker going to the Kansas City Chiefs. That one of the biggest free agency signings um, from this running back, the biggest free agency signing from this running class board so far that was available for free agency. So a really good steal for the Kansas City Chiefs. Then going through the rest of the AFC West teams, Chargers, from what I've seen, have not signed anybody yet. You can correct me if I'm wrong as we go along. Ben, feel
Oh,
free
you're
to
right.
jump in. Broncos have not signed anybody as well. Titans have signed a couple of people. They also were they had a good amount of cap room, but it was still going to be difficult for them cap wise. Colts, I believe they re-signed Pierce, which was big for the Colts. And then other than that, I don't believe they signed any other free agents off the actual free agent board. I believe they only have re-signed a free agent within their own organization so far.
Yep. So one of the top conversations so far, wide receiver wise. Mike Evans, one of the highest conversations right now is Mike Evans staying? And that's the question that will be definitely on everybody's mind during free agency is will the receiver stay in Tampa Bay or will he sign with someone else? According to Albert Breer, he says that Mike Evans camp told teams that he had a 1 year, $27 million offer from someone else. Whether whether or not that's the case, that was tweeted just moments ago. That was just tweeted by Albert Breer, who works for NBC Sports Boston. Um, he did post that. I'm trying. Yeah, if that's the case, we'll see. He posted that about roughly 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, you mean you look at what the Buccaneers have there too, though. They have a quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Um, they have the receivers there that you need for a decent offense. If he does return, they have other receiving pieces there. Some big names in terms of just to name another receiver. They have Godwin there. You have arguably the best wide receiver to come out of the draft class from last year too in Egbuka, I believe is how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah,
Phenomenal pickup there for the Buccaneers. That guy is an explosive wide receiver coming into the league
and you
in
still have
his
Godwin, and you still have Godwin as well as your wide receiver
yeah
one.
the defense in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay always has a pretty decent defense in the NFL. They're kind of the last couple seasons over the last 5 year span they've had decent defenses. They're kind of known for that. And then offensive line wise, like your pieces are there. They had a good O line this year. So in terms of Evans wanting to stay there, I think there's a lot weighing on him to want to stay there instead of going somewhere else. I think, you talk about that deal that he potentially does have, if that is from the Buccaneers trying to return him, and he's been given that offer's on the table for him. That's a pretty strong offer. I think if you see him go somewhere else, it might be because he's getting more money. And uh, you know, I think if you see him go somewhere too, we're gonna see a deal like we've seen where there's gonna be a lot of money that he's getting from going to that team already and guaranteed money.
I agree. Um, Overall, too, the top headline today was definitely Kenneth Walker to Kansas City, the the Super Bowl MVP of this year's Super Bowl 60, signing with the Kansas City Chiefs, getting a brand new start. And overall, you just seemed like the Kansas. It was out of the blue that we expected it within the first half hour of our stream today. Is that we technically didn't see that coming. I mean, we
No, I
could have seen that in like day two or day three in free agency in our legal tampering period.
yeah, I did not see him signing in day one. If you had uh, you know, if my life, we'll put that analogy on. If my life depended on it, how early I had Kenneth Walker going, somebody said, your life depends on it. Which day of free how many days into free agency does Kenneth Walker get taken off the board? I would have never said day one. And
I was
if you asked me what team he would have gone to out of all 32 teams in the NFL, I wouldn't have. Kansas City wouldn't have been my top choice. I would have had. I initially my gut instinct going into this was that he was going to resign with Seattle.
either that. I mean, the Seahawks wanted to go pretty new, and if the Seahawks want to do that, they might as well just draft a running back in the draft. I mean, not a good running back draft, but like this is the opportunity that they could get a running back, which is definitely right now in free agency today. Today, tomorrow, or Wednesday during the legal tampering period, get a running back if you're Seattle. And
Yeah, I mean,
you just came off winning the Super Bowl, and then you just lost your running back. You just lost your running back who, I mean, they didn't want to pay him because he was kind of getting injury prone. At the same time, I don't say it's bad idea. They don't want an injured flight. They don't want an injured running back. Sorry, my mother just messaged me about flights.
you are all good, brother. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, I've been bringing that up injury wise, but then again, from running back, like, you just talk about position wise, like I was saying with, you know, kind of the tight ends earlier, and like based off of who is available on the board and who's not already signed. Running back is such a tough position to predict. It's a tough position to play in the National Football League too. It's like you look at how much these guys are utilized, the beatings that these guys take on their bodies too. Like they're getting hit by big guys constantly. Um,
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard for them to stay healthy depending on how much teams are trying to utilize them from what they have in terms of weapons on their offense. Like you've seen in the past couple of years, like running back, the last couple NFL seasons, running backs have been utilized a lot more in offense, and teams are trying to get heavy on the run, and they're just pounding these guys up the middle, up the middle, up the middle with runs. And then it's those short passes, or even you're seeing teams kind of utilize um, in going after targeting running backs that have decent hands receiving wise and are able to catch like those short, out routes or screen passes because that can trick up a defense. And if you have that too, if nothing develops downfield and you're looking for a short pass, those guys are kind of right there in the peripheral vision, either peripheral vision right or peripheral vision left for a quarterback to, look out to and be able to see as a target. And then it's a quick throw to him. And
yeah.
that leads to usually from what I've seen with a lot of plays that happen there, especially I think probably the best team that I saw do it in the team that was best at doing one of the best teams that do running those plays this year, especially in the biggest stage was Seattle in the Super Bowl. Seattle threw a lot of check passes out like that to running backs or either receivers that they had lined up back in the slot, and almost every single one of those plays went for 4 or 5 yards. And then if those guys get a block, and you have big guys with speed too that are, you know, agile and can uh, dance around like Michael Jackson, in the backfield or front field, and be clever with their shifty move making. Like that is big for teams, Ben.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I mean, I don't disagree with Seattle, wanting to part ways from Walker, but you have a consistent guy back there for a running back too. So
Yeah.
I mean, it is money wise too. There were other pieces that Seattle wanted to go and try to get. So like it is, all about that. He was set to hit the free agent market too, so it's a little different. If he wasn't set to hit the free agent market, do I think he would have stayed with Seattle? Yes. And I
Oh, breaking news. Mike Evans, 49ers.
That's big for the 49ers. That's a good target for Purdy to have there.
Wow.
But then again, is Evans going to stay healthy? You look at what this 49ers team went through this year, Ben. People had the 49ers going into this season. People had the 49ers making the playoffs, and a lot of people in their predictions had the 49ers going as far as potentially making the NFC championship. And this is a team that just managed to sneak its way into the playoffs, got key pieces back when they needed them the most. Is
Mike
Evans
Adam Schefter was the first one to report it. Mike Evans has agreed to terms to the 49ers.
3-year deal is what I have from Schefter on my feed right now. I do not see anything in terms of contract negotiations in terms of how much he will be making over that period. That has not been released by onto my feed yet. Schefter throughout today has been the one who's pretty much released all of the contract deals during some point in the day. So I'm assuming we are going to get that news at some point later. We will bring that news to you, as Ben Smith has said multiple times tonight, as soon as we get it. Um, but kind of just going back to that, like, yes, a great signing for the 49ers, a good wide receiver threat now for Brock Purdy to be able to go to. But is this 49ers team going to be able to stay healthy? That is the big question.
Yeah,
Because
that's sorry to interrupt you. That's
yeah,
been like
no,
the
yeah.
main issue for the 49ers, and we've seen it year in, year out. Is like the 49ers every single year. One guy gets injured, the whole team goes down. One guy,
It's like the Black Plague just runs through the team.
something like that for sure.
Yeah, it's like one guy goes down and oh
It's like
my
a bowling
god,
pin.
we've got an infestation throughout the whole team. Everybody starts going down. Like
Yeah,
it really is like that too, because it's frequently too. It's like, oh, you lose a. It's a during one of the weeks, you lose a big guy. Say, um, their biggest name in the organization probably is known league wide, Christian McCaffrey, huge big name player. It's like, oh, you have McCaffrey go down. Oh, like we lose McCaffrey, and 49ers fans are like, oh my God, how long are we going to be without McCaffrey? And then, those poor 49ers fans, like 2 or 3
yeah.
weeks later, it's like, oh, Chris Godwin goes down. Godwin's out.
Um,
Actually, no, not Godwin. Godwin's not on that. Brock Purdy goes down. You're without Purdy for then. Pardon my for that mistake.
while you were at while we were talking, uh, Bucks just lost two of their players in the range of seconds. Jamel Dean has just signed with the Steelers, and I'm gonna pull it up in just a second. Jamel Dean, one of the top corners in free agency, has just signed a 3-year, $36 million deal with the Steelers.
That's a great pickup right there for the Steelers for where they needed to improve. That's an area they needed to improve on defensively. Um, and from a lot of the pickups that they've had during the day, they're getting a lot of key pieces. I think in terms of day one so far for this free agency period, there for who they've brought in or within, uh, I'd say, if not kind of third on the board right now, they're either third or fourth on the board. I don't know if you agree with my take on that, Ben, or not. I mean, you can disagree if you want, but that leads to
On what?
more talking for us. But they've brought in some good key pieces that they need.
Are you talking about Pittsburgh?
Yeah, and it's there for the Steelers as they just brought in Dean
Yeah,
at
I would agree. I would agree with you. I would agree with you on both sides there. Like offensively and defensively, good pickup. Still young guys as well.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, solid move overall. The top headline of the hour right now is definitely the Mike Evans to Tampa Bay. Not Tampa Bay, to the Bay Area. Trading in
Yeah.
one bay to the Bay Area.
Yeah, he's just moving over a couple of I'm not sure how they would say it. I think they either towns or wouldn't be provinces, so it'd be a couple towns over in the Bay Area of Florida there.
Yeah. Mark.
Well, not he'd go from Florida to California, but in the Bay Area, only over a couple of towns and like literally over just the matter of a couple of he is moving state
So
over.
With the stakes in line now, your quarterback is Brock Purdy. Your running back is Christian McCaffrey. Your wide receiver is Mike Evans. Your wide receiver two is Ricky Pearsall. And your tight end is George Kittle. That's your team. They are
Offensive
winning that
wise,
division. If they're healthy, that team wins the division.
I don't disagree with you there. The thing is, you just need to keep that team healthy.
I that if that team's like I said, that team's healthy, they win that division. Now with now with that being said, the Buccaneers, their wide receiver room is
Well,
now
that's another thing though too that I will counterpoint you there too. 49ers, I don't disagree with that there. Seahawks, the Seahawks, the pieces are there. You know they're going to compete for the division there for the NFC West title at the end of this regular season. Rams though were able Rams did have some big injuries this season, but they were able to stay healthier than the 49ers. So I think in terms of either coming in second or coming in first, I think you're going to see a huge battle between whether the two teams stay healthy. I think 49ers and Rams are going to have a good battle for that top spot. Seahawks are going to be in contention for it, but I think Seahawks, if not first at the end of the day, I think they are guaranteed 2 seed, if not from what happens during the season 3 seed in the NFC West.
I just got news just a second ago that former Browns linebacker Devin Bush has agreed to a deal on a 3-year, $30 million deal that includes $21 million guaranteed with the Chicago Bears. This just got
That's
pulled up moments ago by Adam Schefter. Moments ago, this just been told. Sorry, um, Adam Schefter reports it. Uh, 3 years, 30 million, 21 million in guaranteed. I mean, solid deal, honestly.
yeah, not that's a piece that yeah, you look at the Browns too, that's kind of a piece that they needed to build on too. Uh on that respective defensive side of the ball too. Like you want Browns needed to bring in some linebackers too, so that's a good deal for them. Is he one of what the linebacker free agency? There weren't a ton of really great caliber linebackers, out there for this free agency period on the defensive side. But just to be able to bring, somebody in that you can utilize and maybe even utilize on another spot defensively, even if he's not in a main linebacker role. Solid player to pick up. So
Yeah, solid pickup overall. And Chicago, too, enhances that defense. They really enhanced that defense after that transaction.
yeah, Chicago's defense. Again, their defense this year they've had decent defenses, but their defense like saw a huge the Gen Z slang for it would be glow up this season. Like their defense went from kind of being, you know, in the middle, bottom of the pack, where they finish for regular season rankings to being one of the best defenses in the league. Just like kind of out of nowhere. But then again, like I was saying earlier in one of our earliest hours, they did have spending room last year to go out and spend in free agency. And record wise, their turnaround, they proved how vital a tool that, free agency can be. And they picked up some good pieces in the draft as well. They proved how vital a tool that it can be. Um, for teams that do need it when they need to, retool, you just got to have money to be able to spend is really the key piece.
So, according to Adam Schefter, just seconds ago, he just reported that the Mike Evans' decision to leave Tampa was not about the money. The Bucks were aggressively in their pursuit and presented what they said to be a very strong offer. It came down to a desire for a new challenge as Evans enters his last years of his NFL career.
I mean, you can't blame an athlete for that too.
No,
A change. Yeah, I mean, change is a constant. In life, whether it's you know in for an athlete or anyone in their life, a change of scenery is never. It can be detrimental to a player at times in their career, but usually it's not super, super, super hurtful, to a player. Um, and sometimes that's what leads to, expect he's an older player, so but for a lot of younger players, like that change of scenery, um, often proves to be key. Um, and that's kind of how they get their real shots in the NFL. They prove themselves in the NFL in another organization, and then they either get traded um, to a more high caliber organization that has a lot of the pieces together, and a team that can compete for a playoff spot and compete for the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the day or within the next couple of years. And that's how a lot of guys prove it, is through that change of scenery. And then they'll have another change of scenery afterwards. But that's really not the case for Evans being older. But I think a change of scenery is going to be good for Evans. Um, I think Evans too wants to try to earn one more ring before retirement. So, like we were saying earlier, with who they have on that offense, if they're able to keep it healthy, Evans with the 49ers got a good shot of, you know, getting a ring.
yeah, he does definitely have a good shot at getting a ring. Folks, we have about roughly 15 minutes left in our stream. We've done it for 3 hours long today. And we're glad that you guys came along and tuned into the stream for about 3 hours. We're going to sign off in about roughly maybe 15 to 17 minutes in time. Gonna 15, 16 minutes from now, as it just reached 2:44. Um, but along with that, overall, great moves that we some crazy moves that we've seen within the 3 hours time. But I just want to read a tweet that was from Tom Pelissero on Malik Willis's 3 year, $67.5 million deal with the Dolphins. Uh, he gets 222.5 million in signing bonus, one 1.25 million in salary, fully guaranteed. Gets 21.5 million 2027 salary, and that's a fully guaranteed as well. Uh, 2 million in March of 2028 roster bonus, and then 20.5 million in 2028 salary. So he gets 45 million over 2 years in Miami. The new quarterback will have the decision to make in 2028.
Yeah. Um, that roster bonus is nice. That 2027 salary of 21.5 million is nice. Getting that I mean, I think the biggest thing there, like that signing bonus is huge. 22.5 million in a signing bonus. When do you see that on a contract often, Ben? Not that often.
Yeah, not a lot. The Bucks just said the Glazer family, who owns several different franchises, but the Glazer family just posted saying goodbye to a legend such as Mike Evans is never easy, but today we are filled with appreciation and gratitude for all that he did during the extraordinary 12-year career as a Buccaneer. our goal was always to ensure that Mike would play his entire career as a Buccaneer. But as we go further in that process, it became clear that he was looking for a new challenge. He leaves as the most accomplished offensive player in franchise history, a six-time Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion. But it was his dedication to making a difference off the field that will define his lasting legacy in our community. We wish Mike continued success in his next chapter and thank him for all that he's done for the Buccaneers and Tampa Bay. When time comes, we look forward to gathering once again to honor him, his many accomplishments eventually in his Hall of Fame career. And just seconds ago actually, Adam Schefter just announced that Mike Evans signed a 3 year, $60.4 million deal the with the 49ers. So 3 years, $64 million.
Yeah, and you go back to that tweet that you mentioned from the Buccaneers organization in their farewell tweet to Mike Evans. You know, he we were talking about it yesterday in our preparation meeting for today's live stream in writing out our template. Um, but no doubt about it, for his generation in his period of play, in his time of play that he's played in the NFL, he is a top 10 wide receiver for his wide receiver class in
Yeah.
his time that he's played. Do I think you will see Mike Evans become a Hall of Fame wide receiver? Yes.
Yes.
How
And he should
quickly
be
that
first.
how quickly that happens is not in the fate of our hands. That is in the fate of the league's hands.
And
We
definitely,
we only control so much of that as fans.
and I do think
Do I want to see Mike Evans, get at I believe they do it at the Super Bowl as they announce the Hall of Fame inductees
they do have
at
NFL honors.
the Super Bowl. Yeah, at the NFL honors. Do I want to see Mike Evans, get that honor
Yes.
someday and then see, a Mike Evans, jersey in all his highlights, established into a certain section in the Hall of Fame? Yes, he deserves that honor. I think he's earned that, as a player from what he's done stat wise. We talked about it earlier. This season was the only season that Mike Evans has had in his career where he did not have 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah, and not only
That
that,
is not
we were
something you see every day, not to step on your throat.
no, not at all. And you know who's on pace to do that is Jamar Chase in the next coming years. He's already had four consecutive 1,000 yard seasons, and he just got extended last year with the Bengals with a huge extension, along with T. Higgins as well. But you genuinely look at it. As I got another alert here. This is not NFL related, uh, but you look at it too at the same time. Mike Evans, great career overall. He came in he came in as a superstar, came out of college as a superstar too because he was with Texas A&M. He had Johnny Manziel who always used to throw to him. So yeah,
Yeah, Manziel, heck of a quarterback.
heck of a college quarterback.
Yeah.
I wish he had. He's one of the biggest what if quarterbacks.
Oh,
Him and
for
him and
sure.
Andrew Luck. Him and Andrew Luck are the biggest what if quarterbacks of all time.
I don't disagree with you there. I think in terms of NFL success, I think Luck found a little bit more NFL success than Manzola did.
Well, what's his name? Luck got it was more injury prone, where Manziel just screwed up.
Yeah, Manziel. I butchered his name. Apologies to that entire family line there. That was not something I was trying to do. I mentioned it earlier though. Not on my full game.
You're
Waking
good.
up a little under the weather. But I'll own my mistake. That's the least I can do there.
Yep. So If
I
you guys
mean,
just
yeah, you
sorry.
talk, but going back to that though, you talk about Evans, and all that too. Just my last piece that I want to add on the whole Evans, situation in Tampa Bay and that, like that farewell. In terms of like we both want to see him as a Hall of Fame player too, but he you can disagree with me here. I'm all about it. That builds for a better stream, anyways. Back and forth conversation wise, little debates, but you cannot what Evans has done historically wise in Tampa Bay until today, where he now leaves Tampa Bay for the 49ers, cannot be unwritten historically wise. That can never be taken away from him. I think from what he's done, he has solidified himself as a legend for Buccaneers football, and in my opinion is arguably one of the best offensive players that has ever gone through the Buccaneers organization.
Yep, one definitely one of the best that has stepped foot into this organization, like you just said. The So far nothing has been reported in the last 10 minutes. I would say. Beside no transactions have been made so far today, but
There
yeah,
was one other thing I want to find it on my feed that I saw. It was not a. It was a by technicality was a transaction, but it was not a free agency transaction in terms of a free agent signing. It was another trade that had happened, I believe. I know the Packers were involved in the trade. I just want to have the full names correct for you as I try to find it.
and just news just a second ago is that the Ravens are not tendering Keaton Mitchell, so he will add to the free agent market for the running back room. And this is per Tom Pelissero just moments ago. He just announced that Keaton Mitchell will not make it on. They will not tender him, so he will hit the market in free agency. It is 2:53. We are currently 7 minutes till we wrap up here. Um, First off, what kind of transaction stood you out today, Brady?
Yeah, if you don't mind me transitioning back over to what I was trying to find on
Yeah,
my feed
go
in
ahead.
terms of other transactions. Not sure how big this is, but it's another transaction, and I know it is one that we missed. But it's not one of the biggest transaction of the day. Just another transaction to break on the stream before the end of the day. Here is um the Green Bay Packers traded defensive tackle Rashawn Gray to the Dallas Cowboys for a 2027 fourth round pick. That was via at Rob Domofsky and Todd Darcher, I believe is how that name is pronounced. If I mispronounced that, again, apologies. That is who reported on that on X in the feed, and that was also posted and retweeted by Adam Schefter on his page, and that was also being talked
Wait,
about on NFL Network as well throughout their coverage of today's free agency frenzy.
so Adam Schefter just was on the phone. I'm watching Pat McAfee right now. He was just on the phone. I want to see what the closed captioning is to this, but he was just on the phone moments ago. Uh, and I believe this is going to be
I haven't seen anything broken from Schefter like on his page in terms of like new news. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be McAfee, interviewing him, getting him his opinion on some of these signings throughout the day that have happened.
Um, this is I don't know what he. The Patriots have shown interested in Romeo Dobbs now.
That
Now,
I don't mind that, but I don't want to. I really don't want to see it. I mean, but then again, for age and showing it, do I think you could potentially see Drake May throwing to, Demario Douglas as in Romeo Dobbs as a wide receiver one, or being able to switch it out and see Romeo Dobbs and Kayshawn Booty, um, kind of like your 1, 2, 3 rotation would be Dobbs, Booty, and Douglas. Like that's not terrible. May's been able to hit his targets, but I mean, in terms of talking to another one of our professors at Dean College and being able to talk to him a little bit more, um, as program director for our the Dean College radio station WGAO Power 88.3, which all of you guys watching today's live stream should go check out. We got some of South we got southeastern New England's best
God, it's
rock and
strong.
roll music on the station. Some great artists on there, and some great young talents, um, on the air there, developing their on air personalities there. All of our directors, phenomenal on air talents. But he was saying more for the Patriots, like receivers, they have decent receivers, and they've shown that May can throw to him. He more wants the offensive line beefed up from this free agency period and this draft period. Whether the Patriots trade and bring in some pieces leading up to the draft or going into the draft, and then
All right.
maybe
So
even
I
later
guess
on in the next couple of days of free agency, bring in some guys.
so. Before we wrap up, our final transaction is the Chargers guard Zion Johnson has agreed to a 3-year, 49.5 million dollar deal with the Cleveland Browns, including 32.4 million in guaranteed. He's a solid guard too.
He is a solid guy. Yeah, that's a good pickup for the Browns. A position they kind of needed a little. They have decent guys in place there, but just beef up a little bit more, make your top three depth look a little bit better, and then he is a guy. John Zion is a guy that can be used, you know, in the offensive line in different places when guys get hurt. I believe he was utilized that way a little bit this year with the Chargers. So
Yeah.
in it's not his primary position, so he's not. You can't expect him to be as great there, but he's proven a reliable guy that can do that and still be pretty decent playing a secondary backup position, and can kind of adjust to that you know quickly with injuries happening, is a guy you can lean on for that. That's big for an athlete
hmm I, I can
on to
completely
have
agree.
on their resume.
Yep.
Now,
And
just recapping now, as you were going to do earlier, as we've reached the 3 p.m. mark, reached officially hour three. Just kind of recapping what you were planning on doing earlier before we had more news broken. Is just, I guess we could do it. We could do it this way. I'll pose these questions to you first. We'll do it by team. As of day one of free agency, who are your top three teams in free agency for winning day one of free agency?
uh I would say on my board so far. I would say one of the top free agents that I would say the top teams probably. It's kind of tough. I would say maybe the I would say Steelers. I'd say Pittsburgh. I'd say
I,
Pittsburgh.
I I agree with that. I think Steelers are on the top three there as well.
Uh, it's this one's tough. I would say another good
I
addition.
I
Maybe
think you can disagree with me here. I'll just kind of help float ideas, formulate ideas, brainstorm here. Would you disagree with me or not? Would you have the Giants on the top three board or floating as
no,
a
not
poten- potential, maybe number four, number five as of right now with who they brought in?
no. I don't disagree with you at all. I think they got solid pickups on the offense to really enhance them. So that's what they needed was bring in the same scheme as the bring in the same scheme as what John Harbaugh had prior in Baltimore. So I don't really mind. I don't really mind it at all.
Yeah, no, I think for either, number two or number three, right now, I think they're within the top. They're definitely within the top three for day one, no doubt about it. I mean, Isaiah
Yeah,
Likely, a huge pickup for them, and then as well as some other big pieces that they picked up. So,
yeah.
in terms of number three, really, there weren't a lot of other
I
teams
would
that
say I would say maybe the 49ers. I don't know.
maybe 49ers. I'd say 3 and 4 right now, just in terms of like guys value wise in what they can potentially bring to the team, just from like the name value that they carry across the league in the NFL. And then you didn't really see day one. You only saw Giants and Steelers were ones who really signed like the most guys. So to have them at one and
Yeah,
two, I think makes sense and isn't bad. I'd say 3 and 4 right now. Yeah, I don't disagree with you for 49ers. I'd say throwing on the list just behind the 49ers, Chiefs with that Kenneth Walker pickup. That I don't think anybody expected that. That was a mind shocker. My brain exploded on the news being broken there. As the classic meme across uh the Instagram said, my mind just went boom.
yeah,
That's
um,
literally the exact reaction I had. I never in a million years saw the Chiefs getting him, but
yeah,
very, very good pickup for KC.
yeah. Very good pickup, and we had a very good time today. Thank you again very much, um, Brady, and for all of our folks here on Ben Smith Broadcasting on our YouTube channel. Make sure to tune in tonight to our WBC stream. It is Mexico against the USA. We'll do the stream. The stream starts at 7 o'clock, 7:50, and then we'll do our pregame at like 7:55, 7:57, and then first pitch expected for 8 p.m. tonight. It will be at Dyken Park in Houston, Texas. So we'll have the coverage for that right here on our YouTube channel. Brady Fontaine, thank you very much for coming
Yeah,
on today, and
I
thank you
appreciate
guys
you
for
having me here. I wish you the absolute best of luck. An absolute blast on your later stream today of that Mexico USA coverage later at 8.
yeah,
I hope you have an absolute blast doing that. I hope you as a US resident, I'm assuming you're rooting for the US there. So hope I'm rooting for USA for you. Want to see the outcome you want happen. I think I tremendously thank you and appreciate you. Cannot express my gratitude enough for getting the invite onto today's stream. We
of
thank
course,
all
man.
of you for coming out. I encourage everyone to go check out Ben's channel. Got amazing content on there. Amazing channel. And if you can check out my channel at Brady Fontaine Broadcasting. Got some
Yeah,
content up and coming on there that I'm still in the works with.
yeah, go follow him. I'm gonna sign off for now. Thank you, Brady, once again. Make sure to go check out his channel, Brady Fontaine, his YouTube channel, Brady Fontaine Broadcasting. and he's going to try to do some streams for the Boston Fleet, I believe, and you're going to try to do some more along the way.
Yeah, I know Patriots for us potentially next year. Trying to just work out that potentially. But we got some other stuff college wise we got to work out first before that. Well, all the roommate agreements and all that, figuring out where we're going to be next year, and then figuring out kind of a setup for that. We'll definitely be prepared for that. We know the work that needs to go into it to get you guys coverage, and then I'm gonna I am gonna cover as many fleet games as my work schedule and class schedule will allow me to cover.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Brady, once again. My name is Ben Smith. Make sure to tune in tonight for our WBC stream. Thank you all for tuning in for our 3 hour coverage, and we will see you all next time. I'll see you all tonight, and then see you all. Thank you, Brady.
Yeah, thank you, Ben.